Hi guys, this is gsno.com and I'm here with the unboxing of the Realme 6. Realme is a spin-off from the company Oppo. You know them from the Oppo Find X2 and the Find X and several other handsets like the Oppo Reno. This is the first Realme handset that we test. It should be priced at a very affordable rate, around $250, $300 tops, and it stands out through the beast of a CPU, MediaTek Helio G90T, which we saw last year on the Redmi Note 8 Pro. It was excellent for gaming and more. Okay, so this is the box of the device. It comes in bright yellow, actually taxi cab yellow, if I may call it like that. Okay, and this is the device. It's supposed to be a color called Comet White. We also have a Comet Blue. It's a bit like a pearl here. I've already done the setup, so I'm going to fire it up. What this handset offers, aside from the kick-ass CPU, is a 90 Hz refresh rate, a quad camera, and also fast charging. Now, as it boots up, I'm going to see what's inside the box. With this envelope, we are welcomed into the Realme family, and we discover the metal key used to access the slots right here. And then go further. That was a fast boot up, by the way. And here we find the manual, the quick guide, and a deafening notification sound, and also the silicone case with all the needed cutouts and transparency. Then we go even further inside for the 30-watt charger with VOOC technology, VOOC, USB-A connector, and it's quite hefty but should juice up the phone fully in about 50 to 55 minutes. And finally, we have the cable going from USB-C to USB-A. You're going to hook up your phone to the charger or to the PC. And this is the actual device, and here we are. Now, the interface doesn't feel familiar for me. I haven't played with a Realme phone before. It's our first contact, but it shouldn't be too different from the Oppo interface, the ColorOS. Okay, so we're done with the accessories. Let's talk about size. 8.9 millimeters in thickness, 191 grams. It feels pretty hefty. That's my first impression. And I see there are a variety of apps pre-installed here. I'm going to resort to Chrome and access our website. You can choose your search engine. That's nice. Okay, and let's access GSM Dome. Okay, we're done. Now, you should probably know that we have Gorilla Glass 3 at the front. We have also a plastic frame, and even though I'm not sure this is glass or plastic, I'm leaning towards plastic. Now, the screen you're seeing right here can be tweaked up a bit when it comes to the brightness, and we're dealing with an IPS LCD panel with a 6.5-inch diagonal and a resolution of 2400 pixels over 1080 pixels. The best thing about it is that it has 90 Hz refresh rate. Let's actually see it from the interface and from the settings: display and brightness, auto rotate, screen off, and refresh rate is actually auto select now. I've set it to 90 Hz and I can already feel an improved speed when going through lists and browsing. So 90 Hz indeed. Now inside we have a familiar face once again, the MediaTek Helio G90T CPU, 12 nanometer, octa-core, you know the drill. We also have 3 versions of RAM, 4, 6 or 8 gigs, and 2 versions of storage. It's either 64 or 128 gigabytes of storage plus microSD, which has its own slot separated to the SIM ones. The battery is a 4300 mAh unit with 30-watt charging, and well, camera wise we have a punch hole here of the left side which hosts a 16 megapixel shooter, while at the back side there's a quad setup which reminds me of the one of the Redmi Note 8 Pro. 64 megapixel main camera, f1.8 aperture, 8 megapixel ultra-wide camera, and there are two 2 megapixel shooters, one macro, one used for black and white and bokeh shots. This also takes 4K video capture. We have an audio jack here, we have the USB-C port, I also see a speaker, possibly a singular one. Okay, aside from that, I would say the settings are typical, and I'm talking about connectivity settings like, you know, there's 4G, there's Wi-Fi dual band, Bluetooth 5.0, GPS, and for security, inside the flat power button, you find the fingerprint scanner. The operating system here is Android 10. Let's check that out. Okay, about phone. It says all we need to know, the CPU, and oh my god, I think we actually have the 8 gig of RAM version, which is pretty generous. It's Android 10 with Realme UI applied on top of it, and actually it's not too shabby of an interface. It feels pretty fluid at first contact, has some extra applications here which may come in handy. It has its own video player and music player. Now the camera interface, a quick glance at it, pretty similar to what we saw on the Oppo phones. We have a portrait mode, we have a 64 megapixel shot mode, we have the more section with panorama, ultra macro, and the pro mode. We also have the video department here, and a night mode, which is always handy even on these lesser spec phones. Okay, so this is pretty much it, the first contact with the Realme 6. It feels like a well-built phone, a bit heavy, and I'm pretty impressed by the collection of specs it has inside. Especially the CPU and screen combo is one of the best aspects about it. Be advised, we'll be back with a full review very soon for the Realme 6. Bye bye.